that song.
I know.
I was at a barbecue last weekend and they played that song 3 times. I was like, I don't know who's DJing this party, but I am into it.
But then the next scene is when we see that Drew is like moving in with Fiona. But also, how can she still afford this apartment? Didn't her family lose all their money?
Yes. Well, that's why she needs a roommate.
But how can she afford the rent? It must be so expensive.
I don't know.
She doesn't have a job, does she? She probably gets one. That's probably something that happens.
I can't remember.
But then we're back at church. And, they when they talk, he's like, do you collect things? And it's like, of course, Jenna collects guitar picks. And he's like, have you ever lost one? I don't know. He makes, like, some weird, like, God illusion about, like, when, like, you lose something, it becomes the most, like, important thing that's lost. And, like, you put all your focus on that. And that's how God feels about his people.
Yeah.
I'm, like, in... with the religion lingo. I totally know how to talk about it.
I literally have no idea.
And then I don't know, I think that's when they have the talk. And then fucking Asher keeps touching Claire and I hate it. I don't know. She goes back, I guess her internship's better now. I have no idea. She like goes to like make up for like the day that she wasn't there or something.
Yeah.
And he like is too touchy-feely.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
He's too personal.
And I don't like how he calls her newsy. See, I think it set red flags off in my head initially because it reminded me of when fucking Jesse called Ellie Frosh, which was gross.
Yeah.
And him calling her newsy, like, set off the same alarm bells in my head.
And it also reminds me of, I don't know if this is a Gilmore Girls thing, so I don't know if you're going to get this, but it also reminds me of Ace. Yeah.
It also...
because that's also a newspaper situation.
Grossly, like... trigger warning reminds me of Spirit.
Ugh, no. I hate
it's the opposite end of the spectrum, but
it is. I tried to keep it to a newspaper area because Ace was also a newspaper thing.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, Spirit.
And Frosh also originated from like working on the newspaper at college.
Yeah.
But it's the same creepy vibe, I'm not calling him Dean because we haven't seen him do anything yet, but I'm like, I'd get a bad feeling about
I'm getting
how close
it's
this
weird.
Internship guy is to Claire. I don't like it.
It's feeling like the precipice of a real Me Too movement.
I don't like it.
I'm not on board.
I don't like it. But then we're back at church and Jenna like gives a whole speech.
Is that something that you do at church?
I don't know.
Me neither. I don't know. Christian people, let us know. Is that a thing? Is it like
Before
AA where you can stand up and talk?
The thing, he's like, does anyone have anything to say? Even if someone did say that, like, do people actually stand up and do that, or is that just like a courtesy, like in the movies in the wedding when you say if anyone has any objections, no one's actually supposed to say anything. Yeah. I don't know. And then. But she gives, like, a speech about how she's like, I'm going to do this for me, basically.
Yeah.
And then she and Becky make up. But then at the very last thing that Becky says is like, but you have to promise me one thing. Stay away from my brother. And then the episode ends.
Which, like...
it's very dramatic. But also, it's like, I don't think her brother wants to be around Jenna. So.
No. He does, like, give her eyes as he walks out of the church, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, the weird sibling protectiveness thing is weird.
I feel like they're a little creepy.
They're a little creepy. Old Declan and Fiona 1.0 vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. But then that's the end of the episode.
It's one of those weird, like, we move around a lot and all we have is each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Declan and Fiona.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode. We ended on a really creepy note, but Do we have any grapevine? I know we have an email.
We have a tweet.
And I know we have another review.
It's appropriate. It's from Allegra. It says, offended to share a name with Becky Baker.
Yeah, seriously.
Valid.
And then we have an email from Courtney. And she says, hey, Holland and Kelsey. First off, let me say that your podcast is amazing. I always listen to it when driving. It's hilarious and fun to listen to. I have watched Degrassi The Next Generation since age 8. Yes, I'm serious. I didn't even know half the stuff they were tackling. My only question is, will you two ever cover Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High at any point? I know the shows are super cheesy and dated, but they're still part of the Degrassi Universe franchise. Please think about it. Thank you and keep being awesome. I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
We've talked about
it. We've talked about doing that. We've talked about doing next class.
We probably will.
Everything is on the fence right now, you guys.
I have a feeling we're just going to write it and catch up to next class and then maybe go. And that's when we would go back potentially, but we need to just catch up and see like how old we are, how long we've been doing this. But
Seriously.
let's be real, probably. And then we also have a review from Court Liz 512. It might be the same person who wrote us an email because it ends, please do reviews of Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High. But review, they don't have any preferences or anything, but I believe it's your turn, Kelsey.
It is definitely my turn. So you don't mention anything about being shipped, so I'm going to give you a rare platonic ship, just for funsies.
Go for it.
I'm going to give you a mentorship with Caitlin, because you like the old ones. So it's kind of like an Ellie situation. You go to Degrassi, and it's like time for them to like figure out your like internship, co-op, whatever things, and you're like, you know, I'm really interested in like maybe broadcast journalism or like editorial stuff. I like to do research and maybe write, but I'm like, I like to be in front of a camera. I don't know. And they're like, oh, Caitlin is back in town and she is doing her like
environmental journalism show.
Earth.
Caitlin's Planet.
Is that what it's called? I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's Caitlin's Planet. They rebooted Caitlin's Planet in LA, but she's doing like a series in Toronto about squeegee kids. So you're going to help out. And so you sign on with Caitlin's team and you are like very intimidated by her. But she right away like is so nice and gives you a hug and is like, welcome to the team. I like read your resume and your like recommendations and I think you're going to be great. And you guys like really hit it off. There's no sexual anything because it's creepy. She just becomes like a mentor and a friend. And then when you graduate from Degrassi, you go to university. You guys are still in touch. She does not fuck your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you move out to LA and she gives you a job.
Yay.
Congrats. You got out of Canada.
Sweet.
Yay.
All right. Well, that is all the grapevine that we have for you guys today. If you would like to be featured on a future grapevine segment, you can tweet at us at DegrassiPod or on Instagram at DegrassiPod. You can email us at whateveritakespodcast@gmail.com. You can find us pretty much anywhere to listen, but if you're on Apple Podcasts, if you could rate, review, and subscribe, that'd be super cool. And if you leave us a review, you too can get your own Degrassi-inspired fan fiction made up for you by us on the show. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at HollandTacular.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at KelsEx with a Z at the end. And Holland, what do you want to recommend to the people?
Last night I finally watched the newest Netflix movie rom-com that's become a sensation. Set It Up. It's fun. It's fine. I recommend it. Lucy Liu is amazing. Watch it.
I love Lucy Liu.
It's a good watch. It's a good feel-good watch in our garbage fire of a reality.
I feel that. I feel that real hard.
So that's what I'm recommending.
Hey, you guys, maybe donate to some places.
Oh, yeah. Do that too.
I'm going to recommend another fun distraction. It's called Bubble. So they did this pilot in a podcast a long time ago. And I like maybe a year ago, maybe more, and I recommended it because it was written by Jordan from Jordan Jesse Go, and they did a reading of it on Jordan Jesse Go like a year or two ago, and they were like, you know, spread the word, whatever. We really want to like make this into a TV show. I think it would be a very expensive TV show, and I don't know if they would have done it justice. But I still like tried to tell everyone about it, so it was one of my recommendations. Anyway, what I'm getting at is they did not make it a TV show, but they did make it its own separate podcast. And it's like this really cool story. Like, it's set like in a kind of future, kind of alternate reality situation where they basically live in LA, but surrounding like the city that they live in is just like giant jungles full of like scary monster things that like kill everyone. And there are a few people that like live out in the jungle and like get like really good at defending themselves, and they like rescued some kids from there and they grew up to become fighters. But it's really funny because it's like they all the people that like fight the monsters like are like on an app called Hunter with no E, where basically like if the monster like comes into like your backyard and is like trying to eat your children, you like do the Hunter app. But like they like really like they grade like it's Uber, and like they're like, would you like a bottle of water? And
oh my gosh.
And like it starts off because there's like an unlikely pairing duo who like now fight the monsters as a team. It's really funny and it's really good, and it's called Bubble. So look up the Bubble podcast.
Cool. All right. Well, that is all that we have for you guys today. Thank you, as always, to Jay for our wonderful theme song. And thank all of you for listening. Goodbye, Panthers.
Bye, Panthers.